topic is organic versus conventional. And, I get a lot of questions about this. Dr. Ryan, I can't afford to buy everything organic. I had one gal just tell me recently that she went to Pilgrim's and, she tried to buy everything organic on the same budget that she was using, to buy all of her conventional groceries, and she was only able to get about half the stuff. And I hear that all the time. And, number one is you have to have a plan. You have to be smart. A lot of times people end up wasting food, by throwing it out in the refrigerator. They don't eat it fast enough. It goes bad, or just through the preparation process, they're not using all of it. So number one, you have to have a plan. You have to be prepared. One of the things that's really helped us cut down on our food budget every month is my wife plans out all of our meals on Sunday before we go to the grocery store, and then we only buy what we need for those meals every week. And it's radically reduced the amount of money that we spend on food. And I really feel like we eat the same, if not even better, and more strategically than we have in the past. The other thing is that, as you're making these transitions, these lifestyle transitions, and you're making a difference in your, eating habits and your nutrition regimen, there's a hierarchy of importance, which means you don't necessarily have to go, 100%, 180 degrees in the other direction all at once. Although some people can do that, most people need to take baby steps. You need to take it one step at a time. And just like, the old adage of put the big rocks in first and then fill up the gaps with all the little rocks and the sand, the same is true with nutrition. You want to start with the big rocks first. And the biggest rock that you could start with is changing the meats that you purchase. And the reason why you start with meat is because meat's at the top of the food chain. You're not only what you ate, but you're also what you ate. And so you have to think about the fact that the animals that you consume and the animal products that you consume, it's not just that you're getting whatever's their meat, in their meat, but you're also getting all the byproducts and the leftovers from whatever they ate. And so you want to, when it comes to beef, you want to eat grass-fed beef, organic beef, because in nature, grains and corn is not what cows prefer to live on. In fact, the reason why farmers give cows grain is not because it's good for them. It's because it makes them get fat. It makes them get big really quick, which is also why you should eat grain, because it makes you get big really quick. And it also causes inflammation, and it causes decomposition of muscle, which makes the meat more tender, and it feels better, or it tastes better, but it's not good for you. So anyway, you want to eat grass-fed or green-fed beef. You're also avoiding, and it's also got to be organic, because you don't want the hormones, the antibiotics, the steroids that they put in these animals, because they bioaccumulate in the meat. They change the molecular structure and the composition of the healthy fatty acid ratios, like omega-3s to omega-6s. And that imbalance in ratio can cause a lot of different health issues. Not only is it just not good for you. So anyway, you want to start with grass-fed beef. You also want to do free-range chicken instead of, conventionally raised chicken. Chickens are supposed to range free and be out in the open and be able to, run around and get their own food, not be cooped up in a pen for 100% of their life. It's not good for them. And the last thing is you want to do wild-caught fish, not farmed fish, because what they feed fish in those fish farms is kind of similar to the way that they raise chickens and cows, on a feedlot. It's not good for them, and it messes with the molecular structure of the meat. So once you've got the meat kind of squared away and you've got that under control, then start thinking about organic produce. And the reality is that it's much more impactful for your health to eat grass-fed organic beef than it is to buy an organic zucchini versus a conventionally grown zucchini. However, if you could do all of it, that's great. I mean, that's what we strive to do in our families. We buy as much organic as we can. We try to get all our meats locally, and that way we know exactly where they came from, what's being put in there, and how they're raised. Once you move on to produce, though, there is a hierarchy of different types of produce that's more beneficial to buy organic versus conventional. And the best piece of advice that I can give you is if you don't have this book right here, this is the Maximize Living Nutrition Plans book, you just need to bite the bullet and get it if you don't already have it. I literally have a patient who's bought 30 of these over the last 2 years, and he gives them to people for Christmas presents and birthday presents. And to be honest, that might sound funny, but that's what we do too. And the reason why is my wife and I have found this to be the most user-friendly, hands-on, how-to nutrition book that we've ever come across. And believe me, we've read dozens and dozens of nutrition books over the years. So one of the most helpful things that's in this book that pertains to my message today is something in chapter 7 called The Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And basically, this is a list of the things that you absolutely do not want to buy conventional because they're so laden with pesticides and chemicals. And then the other things, the Clean 15 are the 15 things that it doesn't matter as much, nearly as much, almost a negligible amount of difference whether or not you buy them conventional versus organic. So that's kind of load off of your shoulders, especially if you're a parent, you're trying to feed a whole family. Things that you could buy on the Clean 15, you could buy conventionally from Walmart or Costco, even though those places have organic options as well. But that's another way that you can really save on groceries and still be doing the right thing for you and your family. So I hope that helped you out today. Grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, wild-caught fish, and then follow the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, and you guys will be on your way to better nutrition.